Hello again! I am here very soon since my last upload. Obviously, you can see the topic of the conversation with the title. I don't know why I always point up with the title, because it's technically down there, but yeah. So this one's gonna be, a little bit rough if you're someone that doesn't want to watch this. First off, I don't know why you clicked on the video, but I'm gonna just be very blunt and honest, and share some stuff I've never shared before, because I've been watching a lot of content about this, and I think it's a discussion that needs to happen that isn't happening in the way that it should be. So we all know the stat, 1 in 3 women or girls will be assaulted in their lifetime. Well, the stat for men is not far behind. It's 1 in 4. But we don't talk about it because a guy getting assaulted, it's not masculine, right? It's not man enough. Well, I've always been told I'm not man enough and not masculine enough, so who better to talk about it than the one that's already not masculine? I have a long history with sexual abuse, and I really hope that the terminology I'm using is not going to, have YouTube ban the video or whatever, because, they love doing that. I was molested a lot as a child, but when it comes to, actual, rape, well, sorry, I don't really know how to, describe it. So, when I was 19, I was with a guy who, hold on. I need to back up. I'm not making this video for, sympathy. I know a lot of times whenever I talk about the struggles that I've gone through in my life, I see you, I hear you, honey. I get a lot of comments that are like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry that you went through that. I'm not. Obviously, it's not something you would want to happen, bad things, but I'm not sorry because the person that I am today is based off of the struggles that I've gone through and the lessons I've learned from those struggles, which is really the moral that I hope viewers will take away from my content. It's that often we talk about the bad things that happen to us, but it's not so you can be like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I don't give a shit about your sorry. Did you do it? No? Okay. Why are you apologizing? Have empathy? Awesome. You don't need to apologize for something you did not do. The thing is to hopefully share inspiration for other people to find peace with their own trauma, or just sometimes even just hearing someone's story validates your own, and if that is what mine can do, perfect, awesome, love it, but I don't want your I'm sorries. Now I am gonna skip the thing I was gonna say. I just don't think it's not really a story I want to get into. Well, when I was in my mid-20s, I went to a gay club that was specifically meant and designed for sex. And I went there, drinking wasn't allowed, but I had a water bottle with vodka in it. And it was just that much vodka. It was just enough to get a little tipsy, but not actually be drunk. Because I was only planning on being there for however long, and I needed to make sure I was sober in order to leave. So it was just enough to get a buzz going, a few shots, just a water bottle with just under the label, and I was drinking it, and I completely just blacked out. I had very stupidly, I had left the bottle on a table, and I walked away for just a minute. It was so quick You wouldn't have even, like, thought anything. I walked back over. It was in the same spot, so lid was still on. Didn't think anything of it. And I drank it, and I just completely black out. And I woke up. So it was 2 hours later, and the way that I know it was 2 hours later is because I saw, I'm like a compulsive phone checker. Like, I always need to know what time it is. And I saw the time, and then I put the phone back in the locker, and then went out onto the floor, which is when I set the bottle down and walked away. And then once all of this was said and done, I checked the time, and it'd been like 2.5 hours, maybe like 2:15, something like that. Well, I wake up, and my head is literally just being like shoved down, like they are doing it for me, because I was passed out. And I was conscious for about 15 minutes before I could move. Like, I could not physically move, so I was aware of what was going on. I could feel what was going on, but I could not move. And somebody was behind me also going at it. And then he finished, and then somebody else came in, and there was about 3 men during that period. And then I finally was able to move after, and I'm just guesstimating. I don't know if it was 15 minutes, you know what I mean? I didn't have a watch right there in front of me, but felt like about 15 minutes. And I get up, and this guy's like, oh, no, come back. No, you're good. No, you're fine, baby. Don't be worried. Like, he's like trying to talk me into staying. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And I get up and I just walk out of the door. There is a line of men, just like a line of men. And I went off on the staff. These people stole my fucking keys, like a whole ass nightmare. Well, I called the police, and they got me in touch with the detective. Like, literally, the minute I got out of there, like, I literally called the police. And then I freaked out. I ignored the detective calls, and I didn't do anything because somebody talked me out of it. And here's the deal. I've told people about this before, and I already know that there's going to be people in the comments or people watching this that feel the same way. I've told people about this before and have been told that it's my fault for going to a club designed for sex, and that if I didn't want that to happen to me, then I should not have been there, which has created a lot of, like, stuff in my head of, like, well, was I asking for it? Did I do that on purpose? But here's the deal. My choice was taken away. So I understand I went somewhere to, like, hook up with people. Yes, I get it. That's on me. My choice was not to take drugs and then have unprotected sex with a group of men. I wore condoms exclusively during any, like, hookup scenario. I didn't want to get anything or catch anything, and I did get something, by the way, so that was fun. But it was curable, thank God. Oh, thank goodness. Wouldn't that be horrible? It happens to a lot of people, though. But, so I would hear, like, so I just stopped telling people, because anytime I did, I would be told that, oh, well, if you didn't want that to happen, why did you go to a sex club? And it's like, having consensual sex with somebody in a space designed for that is a lot different than being drugged and then raped by a group of men that you do not know, that you haven't spoken with. Like, I wasn't just the type of person to just lay down and take all the cock in the world, you know what I mean? Like, I just wanted to go hook up with, like, a person or two. I'd be good. So I know that's, like, bizarre for someone to even say. Like, why would somebody just openly talk about this online? Because it's something that I think, especially the way that, like, gay culture is, I think it's something that a lot of people have experienced, that more people have gone through, where we're men. So being that we're all men, we're way more hypersexual than other groups of people, more so than straight people, more so than lesbians. We have that sex drive of dudes, and so when you get dudes who like dudes together, we want to bang. You know, not all of us, everybody has a different sex drive, but like overall, if we're generalizing, that's the situation. So I know it's a little bizarre for me to just be like, oh, and I went to a sex club to hook up with guys, but I've struggled with it a lot. Maybe like 5 or 6 months after that happened, I hadn't hooked up with anybody in the meantime. And 5 or 6 months after that, I tried to, like, I was gonna go hang out with this guy, and I just started having this full, like, panic attack, like, crying, freaking out, and I was just terrified. And it's weird because I didn't think that it had affected me. Like, I felt numb. I mean, I remember crying the whole way home that night, which was like a 30-minute drive. It was miserable. I felt wasted. Like, I literally, like, I felt like I had drunk, I don't know. I felt like I literally had like 20 drinks. I felt hammered. Shouldn't have been driving. I needed to get out of there. I was so, like, pissed. Mostly mad, because I tend to get mad, like, when shitty things happen. I'm not so much as like a sad person. I'm more of like an angry person. I get mad about shit. I don't usually get sad about it. But then 5 or 6 months later, try to hook up with this guy, have a total fucking panic attack. Later down the road, I move in with a friend of mine who we'd known each other from high school, and I said noon. We'd known each other. Hold on, I need a drink. This is, Jesus Christ. It's weird to talk about, especially in a video, because I've not ever, I don't know. I've recorded videos for myself talking about this stuff, but it's just for, like, me to watch back. I don't know if that's weird, but I feel like it's helpful sometimes to, like, remind yourself of where you came from and who you are. So when I'm feeling down, sometimes I'll, like, record a little reminder for myself for later on, and they really help. So if you need that, try it. It also helps with sobriety. That's one of the things that's helped me stay off of drugs. Is I recorded a video the last time I used drugs. I was on it actively, and I watch it anytime I crave anything, and I'm like, oh, that's why you stopped. Okay, got it, yeah. So it really does help. Anyway, I'm just rambling at this point. One sec, hold on. So later on down the road, I move in with one of my old high school friends, and after, I think, like 6 months to a year of living together, I gave somebody a hug, and she was like, oh my gosh, you just hugged her. And I was like, yeah, I always hug people. She's like, I've only ever seen you hug one person, and it's your mom. She's like, you don't hug anyone, you don't touch anybody. She even said that she would purposely, when we were, like, watching a movie, like in bed together, she would move her foot to touch me to see what I would do, and then I would move my body away from her. But I did not know that I was doing this. I was not aware of it at all. The irony here, my entire life I'd been a very touchy person, very, like, cuddly. I loved cuddling, holding hands, like, just cuddling up and watching a movie I loved, and I didn't realize that I stopped touching people. I know, you know, rape has a lot of effects that might go under the radar, but the thing that's always bothered me the most is that I didn't feel like it bothered me as much as other people. I've heard so many people talk about their experiences with it, and mine doesn't feel as traumatic as other people's does, and it makes me wonder, like, should I feel worse? You know, it seems like all the effects for me were subconscious. It didn't seem to like really affect me in the way that I see it affect other people, which makes me wonder like if I'm not like what's wrong with me that I wouldn't be like, because you know people are so heartbroken, and really the thing that broke my heart was I didn't give permission. It's not something that I said, oh yeah, you can do this. And then the panic attacks and stuff, you know, that was not fun, but it didn't break me the way it seems to break so many people. And I have never heard anybody say that before. I've never heard anybody be like, oh yeah, I was raped, and like, yeah, I had some subconscious effects, but in my daily life it didn't seem to affect me that deeply. But yeah, it didn't, other than those subconscious effects. And another thing I don't think we talk about enough is male sexual assault. We talk about women. I see so many posts from women being like, oh, men will never understand it. And I just wish you would stop because men are sexually assaulted. If we include prison statistics, men are actually sexually assaulted at a higher rate than women, but only if you include prison statistics. And I understand that the vast majority of people who commit that sort of crime are men. So I get it. Yes, I know. But their victims are both genders. There's not a gender, and I'm not saying there's only two, sorry, but it doesn't matter what gender you are. They don't care half the time. I mean, maybe they do. I don't know. I've heard they don't. It's like the power over you that they have or whatever. I don't fucking know. But then I also think maybe it didn't affect me that much because I wasn't awake for most of it. I was only awake for like the tail end of Lord knows what happened during that 2 hours. I don't know how many people fucked me. I have literally no clue. I do not know. I know at least 3 in a short time span at the end, and I don't know who else. But based on the line, there was at least 20 guys in this line, so I'm assuming it was a large, large number of men. So we need to have more of a conversation about this. I don't think that there's an honest conversation about male sexual assault in this world, and it's really bothersome because it happens to us too, and it's so emasculating whenever it happens that men won't talk about it. They don't want to be viewed as gay. It's just this underbelly of homophobia in the world that they're like, oh, well, I don't want to be associated with sex with another man, so I cannot speak about the time that somebody forced me to have sex with them. It's just such a common thought process, and it's not going to stop unless we, as a society, stop judging. First off, stop judging gay men, but also stop expecting men to be like this picture perfect masculinity. This conversation that if a man gets raped, he's obviously not man enough because he should have been able to fight him off. Like, it's bullshit. It's wrong. It's lies. In my case, I was drugged. There's literally no way I could have fought them off because I was fucking asleep. Like, oh yeah, oh, I'm not a man because I wasn't able to fight them off. Oh, I deserved it because I was at a sex club in the first place. I didn't give them permission to do that. So it's not my fault, and I know that now. And I'm already prepared for the comments of people saying that it's my fault anyway, which, fuck you. But yeah, I hope this opens up this conversation. If you've noticed a trend in my videos, it's all about like, let's open up the conversation. It's just, I think that there's a lot that we don't discuss that we need to. That's all I have for you. You'll eventually slowly start to get to know me better as I tell you more stories. I think that I've gained a lot of wisdom through a lot of hardships in my life, and I also still have a ton of growing to do. I'm kind of a fucking bitch, you know? If you've been on that end of me being an asshole, I'm sorry. I'm trying to do better. I'm trying to share stories to see if it will help other people, and then maybe we can all help each other by talking about this stuff and being honest and not hiding behind our fear or our phone screens or whatever the fuck we're hiding behind. If you feel like the video helped you, give me a like and a comment. If you hate it, thumbs me down. If I've been mean to you before, give me a thumbs down and a hate comment. Love that. I'll probably make fun of you as a response though. And share the video if you think it will help people. Don't share the video if you don't. Either way, love you guys. Treat other people with kindness and respect, and don't assault people. Small idea. Oh, perfect timing. All right. 1 second. My friend just got here. So yeah, we're okay. Bye.